So hello you wonderful human of the internet, and welcome to another perfume sniffing video with BPAL's Yule collection, their Christmassy ones, which obviously I'm a bit late for, but they were a bit late for too. They've moved across the states, I think from California to Pennsylvania. I feel like a stalker knowing but they've done a big move, which meant that their collections for Halloween and for Yule were quite late. And obviously being in the UK, everything gets to us late anyway. And then, as always, I do like to let the perfumes sit and warm up and settle. These have been sitting for about 2 or 3 weeks now, so I've kind of slept on it a little bit, but hopefully they're going to be pretty much in their prime state. I mean, BPAL, this is kind of a bit of a special interest of mine, BPAL and aging, because it's a continuous process. And I've got BPALs that I've been aging for 4 or 5 years that still don't smell right to me, because the ones that smell right to me are ones I've had for about a decade or more. And I'm still waiting for them to get to that place. So BPAL aging can be a very frustrating thing, but it's worth it in the end. Anyway, before we start, I would just like to say that January has been the month from freaking hell. I don't know whether that goes for anyone else out there, but January has just sucked. I've recorded 2 or 3 videos that I just hate. I just hate so much I'm not using them. And really annoyingly, I love my makeup in all of them, but I'm just having a lot of just like huge self-doubt about everything I record. But you guys have been asking for BPAL sniffing, so I'm like, look, let's do BPAL sniffing. And surely, like, how hard is it to just smell perfume and not completely hate the result? Oh my god, BPAL sniffing does always cheer me up, so that's the other reason for wanting to do this video. Anyway, I'm gonna stop complaining now, and we're gonna start with I have loved a lot of these. I did go kind of apeshit on the Yule collection, did get quite a few, and they throttled me, as we call it, a free bottle of throttle. They gave me 2 throttles, and both of these free bottles that I have are very, very, very mysterious. As in, I can't find a single mention of a review thread anywhere online for either of these. They're prototype scents. I think they were going to be event exclusive scents anyway, and they're the prototypes before that. So they're like super rare, super weird. And I think one of them is quite nice. One of them is gorgeous. But like, I don't know what I'm smelling. All I've got is like, oh, I think it smells like this, but I have no idea what I'm smelling because I can't find the listed notes. I can't find a review thread. It's very mysterious. Thinking maybe some of you guys have also got these ones as throttles, and just no one's reviewed them because there's no review thread. So where do you put it? So it might be interesting if anyone else has ended up with the same throttles as me. Like, what do you think you're smelling? So we'll get to those in a bit. So I thought I would start with one of the ones that I am just loving to death. I knew I was going to love this one. It's a weird sounding perfume, but I do love it. And that one is Fake Banana in a Fuzzy Sweater. The description they gave for this was, because fuck it, that's why. The heart wants what it wants, and this year it wants a fake banana in a fuzzy sweater. And I think that is fantastic. Because the last couple of years, I have been so obsessed with banana perfumes, and there's not that many banana BPALs, and it is a real love it or hate it note. Their banana note, a lot of people hate it because they're like, oh, it's like nail polish remover. And it does open, usually, let me just slap this on before I start waffling, but banana usually opens with quite a strong artificial blast that can be a little bit kind of chemically and artificially smelling. And I would say if you get that, just put it on, let it dry down. It does fade. That almost like acetone alcohol-y note, it evaporates very quickly and leaves you with banana. But this one, I would say, is the least kind of nail polish removery fake banana. It doesn't have that opening blast. They seem to have improved their banana notes. Basically, either that or my nose is just getting very used to them. I don't know. But this one, it very much opens all with banana. And the fuzzy sweater note, you have to wait for it to come out, which is why I wanted to start with this one in part. Partly because I love it, but also because it does need to dry down, this one. But yeah, there's a little bit of that kind of like acetoniness to the banana to begin with. But yeah, have patience and you get this really, it is kind of more like a candy banana. I mean, obviously this one is meant to be a fake banana. So it is like the kind of banana candy smell, I guess, makes sense. But I find that banana, I've said banana about 1,000 times. BPAL's banana note, I find, is always kind of candy. Like, I don't know whether these are a worldwide candy or not, but those little sweets that are like rubbery, kind of foamy banana sweets that I used to love as a kid, it smells kind of like that. The fuzzy sweater note, I don't know whether everyone finds this, but to me, the fuzzy sweater note smells almost kind of like gender neutral masculine leaning. And I think that's why I like it so much, is because it's got this very comforting feeling to it. There's something slightly masculine about it, and it's got that fuzziness. It feels like hugging. I've said this about other, because they've done like other fuzzy sweater scents before. They did mulled wine and a fuzzy sweater or something for one of the years, and that one I adore. It's like my biggest comfort scent in the world, because it literally smells like being hugged by a really, really, really lovely guy, and I have like strong memory attachments to that particular scent, and I really love it. So I was like, another fuzzy sweater one, and it's got banana, I'm coming for it. And yes, when it dries down, honestly, the banana, it's a bit sad because the banana almost completely disappears in this one, on skin anyway. Probably in a locket, I guess the banana would linger, but on skin, it's almost a pure fuzzy jumper scent when it dries down. So I think this might be interesting for layering. If you love the fuzzy jumper note like I do, if you have this same kind of emotional attachment that it's like, oh my god, but this feels like being hugged by someone I really love. If it feels like that to you, then I think you need this scent, because you can probably layer it with pretty much anything to make your own perfect fuzzy jumper. You've just got to wait for the banana note to kind of tone down. Very low throw. That is my only complaint, is that it does fade down. It's low throw, but it is so cozy. Like, I want to hug my fucking arm. It's so cozy. It's like, ah. So yeah, fuzzy sweater. I think I need to try it in a locket, and hopefully that will amp how long it stays smelly for. So the next one I wanted to talk about is one which is a foodie of food that I have never tried before, but now I'm kind of like, I want to try this. And that is Spumoni. Spumoni. I can't stop saying it like that. It's very obnoxious. I'm sure everyone Italian hates me. Spumoni. It sounds fantastic. So Spumoni, see, it sounds awful if I just say it. Spumoni, it sounds a bit like spunk to me. Spumoni. You have your Spumoni. It doesn't sound like spunk. But anyway, Spumoni is described as thick bands of cherry, chocolate, and pistachio gelati. I always thought it was gelato. Maybe gelati's like the plural of gelato. Don't know. But it's like that lovely, rich Italian ice cream anyway, like so much better than our ice cream. Concealing bits of maraschino cherries and roasted salted pistachio nut meats. So basically you've got, I've never seen this thing in this country, but it's kind of like, what do we call Neapolitan ice cream is what we have over here, which is like vanilla, strawberry and chocolate, so like bland, really bland mixture of ice creams. Whereas Spumoni seems to be pistachio, chocolate and cherry, which, God, that sounds good, particularly with the salted pistachio. This is just turning into like an I wanna eat this review. But anyway, it sounded so good and I couldn't resist it, and I was right to do so because the smell is really, really, really lovely. I mean, you can't go wrong with foodies and BPAL, I find. I try to, oh wow. I was going to say something, but that smell just distracted me. This one is strong. This one hits you in the face. Like there's in the beginning, there's something a little bit overly artificial about I think it's just the maraschino cherries they are kind of artificially smelling, I think. So, but that has faded now. Like it's a very fast morph from like, ooh, that's a bit artificial to, God, I want to lick it. Yeah, the chocolate is really, like, you get a different thing. It is like scooping into this banded ice cream in that you can smell the different layers as you inhale. You smell the different things. The chocolate is just really rich and gorgeous, and then on the edge of the chocolate you can smell this really sweet cherry thing, And there is just like a slight grounding of I guess the pistachio, the nutty kind of saltiness of the pistachio is just there in this kind of groundedness to the smell. I'm describing this in such a weird way. See, but then it kind of morphs again. It morphs again, and now the cherry is taking over a little bit too much. And then it morphs again, and the chocolate comes back, and this is going to be, I haven't worn this actually in probably about a week and a half. So this has done quite a bit of settling and morphing, I think, since the last time I wore it. This I think is the kind of perfume that I am going to wear to nervous situations because of how fast it morphs. It's like a fidget toy. It's, you know, you can keep smelling it and it's morphing on you and it's changing all the time. I mean, which I think is, I need to start wearing perfume on my wrists again, I think, so that when I'm out in public and I'm sniffing, it's obvious what I'm doing. Whereas like this whole thing kind of, because this is where I wear perfume. I wear it on the backs of my hands because I find that it lasts longer, and it doesn't mingle with my skin chemistry and end up smelling weird so often. So I do wear perfume on the backs of my hands usually now. Also, particularly in winter, your wrists are usually covered, but the back of your hand is free, so you can still smell it. But if you're walking around like this, it just like, why are you smelling yourself? Like, what are you doing? Or are you just like constantly wiping your nose like a cat? Like, what are you doing? It looks weird. So I think this would be great for like nervous situations because of the fact you can sniff it and sniff it and sniff it, and it constantly shifts on you. But wear it on your wrist, so at least it looks like you're doing what you're doing. And actually, sometimes if I'm wearing a top that comes down to here and like has a thumb hole, I will put perfume on the backs of my fingers instead. And then I'm literally walking around like smelling the backs of my fingers, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Let's just put it that way. So, okay, the next one I wanted to talk about is whatever my phone is going to bring up next. My computer's being a bit of a jerk right now, so I am going to go for Elf Mutiny. Let's go for Elf Mutiny. So this one was listed as, oh my lord, how do you say this word? I'm baffled on the first word. Okay, the description of Elf Mutiny: oleaginous raspberry oud, benzoin, red labdanum, carnation, and tobacco absolute. I have no idea. Hang on. Oleaginous, meaning and pronunciation.
That's pronounced allegiance, meaning and.
Allegiance. I'm not spelling it right. I'm not saying it right. Oleaginous. It's come up.
According to Wikipedia, illegal immigration to the United States is the process of migrating into the United States in violation of U.S.
Oh, no, I can't spell it either.
It either is spelled I-T-E-I-T-H-E-R.
Give up. Kill me now. I give up. Hang on. Oleaginous.
Oleaginous.
Oh, fuck. I gained that one, didn't I? Oleaginous raspberry. Okay, and it means rich in, covered with, or producing oily. Okay, or exaggeratedly and distastefully complimentary, obsequious. Ooh, so that's a word I can actually use if I can learn how to say it. Oleaginous. I'm never going to... Okay, well, we've learned something today anyway. So, the raspberry... Oleaginous raspberry. So it's kind of like an oily, really thick, oily raspberry. Benzoin, red labdanum, carnation, and tobacco absolute. Now this one, I did quite like it when it first came, but I found it a little bit sweet. I think was my problem with it was that it was a little bit overly sweet. But you don't get many raspberry scents from BPAL, so I think that was what sold me, was like raspberry. Raspberry would be nice. Let's have some. Ooh, that's morphed. That has morphed a lot. It's gone a lot deeper and more mysterious on me. It's lovely. I would swear there's almost something alcoholic in that, but I don't know what it is that smells alcoholic. Maybe like the oiliness of this. Oh God, here we go again. Oleaginous raspberry. Oh, it's raspberry oud, isn't it? That's why it smells so deep and sexy. I completely blanked on the oud because I was so befuddled by this weird word. But yes, it's the oud. That is what's so like deep and rich and kind of. Oh, it's quite sexy. It is quite sexy. It's almost a little bit kind of, again, gender neutral, slightly masculine leaning. I guess because of the tobacco. And also oud sometimes swings that way. Yeah, I like it. It's I don't know that this one's ever going to be like a huge, like, oh my God, I crave this. I really want to smell this. I love it kind of thing for me. It's quite pleasant, but the throw is not as strong as I would like. Again, I'm not coming down with COVID or something, because I know this one later on will be the acid test, the trans charity smell, pink and blue candy canes. When we get to this one, if I can't smell this one strongly, because this one is strong, then I think I need to take a COVID test. So yeah, so Alpha Mutiny is nice. It's a little bit sweet and raspberry-y, slightly masculine leaning, kind of low throw. Nice, but I'm not obsessed, but I will keep it to see if it just gets deeper and louder with age, because they sometimes do, so you never know. Okay, so because I am literally getting nervous about my nose, I am going to jump into the pink and blue candy canes right now. I was going to save this one till last because it is so strong, and I worry that it's going to stink up the place and I'm not going to be able to smell the other perfumes properly. But I'm kind of concerned that my nose is misbehaving right now. So I'm going to try it and hope that it smells strong, and that, yeah, it's not my nose misbehaving. It's just been a couple of light scents in a row. So pink and blue candy canes. It was, if I recall correctly, it was like a trans charity one because of like the pink and blue and white trans flag. So this one, a certain percentage of proceeds went to trans charities, which is really cool. So I was kind of persuaded on that thing, but also it just sounded amazing. The description they gave was, here's a soothing scent to counter the winter's harshness. The pillowy warmth of strawberry cotton candy cooled with a gentle breath of blueberry vanilla mint. I mean, how can you resist that? Blueberry vanilla mint. A gentle breath of it. I love their descriptions. I love their descriptions. So this one, they've always done a candy cane scent. God, am I coming down with something? Am I just being hypochondriac? I don't know. They've always done a candy cane scent every year called Lick It. And it's like the Lick It has varied. There's been like Lick It with enthusiasm, Lick It with consent, various versions of Lick It. But Lick It is always like a vanilla-y mint. I've got the Lick It with consent version, and I do love it. It's like a really strong blast of mint. God, my throat is fucked. I really think I'm coming down with something right now. Okay, this smells pretty strong to me though, so maybe I'm not dying. Yeah, so this one, you can smell that it's kind of a cousin of Lick It. If you've smelled the Lick It one with the kind of strong mintiness with a touch of vanilla, this is similar. You can smell that inside it, but it's very much encapsulated in the kind of pink and the blue. I'd actually forgotten what the pink and the blue was meant to be. The strawberry cotton candy and blueberry vanilla mint. I thought it was just supposed to be kind of like pink and blue sugars, is what I thought it was, because I have always just got like a very kind of vague impression of something very hyperactive, very in your face, very bright and loud and sweet. But I wouldn't necessarily have said blueberry anything. I don't know that I've ever had blueberry candy, so when you like candify blueberry, I don't know that I know what that smells like. It's just a very happy smell. It is a very happy, lovely smell. I wouldn't say it's a particularly soothing scent. Like, it's comforting and it's lovely, but it's like hyperactive. It's a hyperactive scent, which is no surprise really, because it's all sugar. Like the kind of the mintiness of the Lick It candy cane center really is what my skin amps. Like I'm quite jealous if anyone who's got skin whereby you get more of the strawberry cotton candy. I'm always wishing I could get cotton candy scents to work on my skin. And with BPAL, they don't seem to. Somebody once sent me some samples of a cotton candy scent. I can't remember the brand. It was a brand that I tried to get them online and they discontinued that collection. I couldn't get it. Somewhere around I still have these samples and the cotton candy actually works on my skin. But for some reason, every time I've bought BPAL cotton candy scents, my skin just eats it. And it has to go in a locket. This in a locket I think would be amazing because it's strong anyway. So in a locket I think it would be amazing, and maybe you'd keep more of the complexity rather than the mint kind of taking over. But oh, it is nice. It is nice. Oh, I guess it is kind of soothing. It's soothing in a really like, I want to hug myself, it's exciting, I feel good kind of way, rather than like a sleepy kind of way. I look absolutely top marks. This is probably my favourite. In fact, undoubtedly my favourite one from the Yules this year is this one. And if I was still a little raver, this would absolutely be my new rave scent, because Midway used to be my rave scent, and this doesn't smell like Midway, but it's kind of got the same vibe. It's got the same just like hyperactive, sugary vibe, and I love it. Okay, so let's try one that I haven't tried in quite a while. I tried this initially when I first got it, and I was kind of like, I don't know, I think it needs to settle, and then I forgot about it. So this one is called Dapper Mandrake Goes A-Courtin, and it's the coolest picture. It is a mandrake, which I don't... Do we have a different word for mandrakes in the UK, or are they just not something you eat? Because I've never eaten a mandrake, but maybe we call it something else. Is it like a turnip or a parsnip over here? I don't know. But anyway, it's some kind of root vegetable dude with a top hat and a little monocle on, and there's some sort of carroty thing in the background, which presumably is his date. It's a fantastically weird picture, and I love the title they've given it of Dapper Mandrake Goes A-Courtin. So his notes are elegant tendrils of mandrake, vetiver, and galangal roots splashed with debonair cologne. So elegant tendrils of mandrake. I don't know what mandrake is, so maybe that... Why did I buy it? I think I just like the art. So this one, oh, I know what it was. It was the debonair cologne that got me. I was like, this is going to be a bit masculine. I've no idea what a mandrake is, but it's going to be a bit masculine, so let's go for it. Oh, God. This has changed. Ooh. Oh, this has changed for the better. Okay, so this reminds me a lot of Bram Stoker. Not the man, but the perfume. BPAL's Bram Stoker perfume has also got, it's quite like an intimidating, it's quite an intimidating masculine smell. Both Bram Stoker and this one, it's very like Mr. Darcy at the beginning of kind of the book and the film, when he's, very rude and aristocratic and wants nothing to do with you. That is how it smells. So it's quite sexy if you like that kind of thing. If you're turned on by by confidence, bordering on cockiness, bordering on like, oh, he's so mysterious and he'll have nothing to do with me, and like, yeah, if you're turned on by confidence in men, you will like this smell, because it's very... I'm literally biting my lip. It's... Yes, this guy knows what he's doing in all areas of life. It's a slightly more mature cologne smell, I would say. I don't envisage it as like a young guy's cologne. Maybe that's why it's more confident smelling, because it smells like a guy who's kind of been around. He's been around the world. He's done things. He knows what he's doing. He's smooth, and that has always been very sexy to me. I think probably because of, I don't know whether it's what, like chicken and the egg, what came first, me dating older guys or me having a thing for older guys, which one came first? Equally, I've dated this is completely irrelevant, but I've dated a couple of younger guys, and there were good bits, there were bad bits. Smell-wise, I think the confident older guy smell is a lot sexier than... Well, I guess young everybody wears what they can afford, which unfortunately is usually kind of the cheaper stuff. So it's like Lynx and stuff makes you think of like young guys, and it doesn't have that like, oh, this is sexy thing to it. Whereas now the sad thing about Dapper Mandrake is that it fades down on my skin to like he loses all his personality, has just floated away, and now all I'm left with is soap. Literally, it's soap, and it's not even a masculine soap. How? This is the biggest morpher. It smells like a lovely soap, like it's a lovely, like really like triple milled, like all of that stuff, good lather, but it's just nice soap that, you know, someone quite rich would have in their bathroom. I feel like I've gone home with this confident, older, like very sexy, like a slightly intimidating guy. And then I've gone home with him and he's run out the back door and he's left me with his wife and her soap collection. Like, okay, that's weird. Oh, you're a tricksy one, Mr. Dapper Mandrake. You are a tricksy one. But you're very sexy while you last. Very, very sexy while you last. So, in the locket with you. So next up, I wanted to talk about a general catalogue scent. So this is one you can get all year round, all the time, and they've had it up for years. There's loads and loads of reviews if you want to hear other people's opinion on it. But I just have to talk about this one because I'm obsessed with it, and I've been obsessed with it for a while. Because they gave me a free impa-frimp of Tombstone, and I hadn't smelled it before, I don't think. But oh, it's a weird one, and it's addictively weird, and it's so addictively weird I had to get a full bottle because I was just constantly plastered in it. I couldn't stop smelling it. I was like, I need a bottle. So I got it. So Tombstone is described as a celebration of one of the first commercially produced perfumes of America's Old West, a rugged, warm blend of vanilla, balsam, and sassafras layered over Virginia cedar. And I think it's all about the sassafras for me, this one. Not that it just stinks of sassafras, because if you want that, laudanum, they've got a perfume called Laudanum, which is so weird that I was like, no one's going to wear this as like a normal perfume, surely, because it's so weird. It's pure sassafras, like a smack in the face of like root beer, basically. But if you look up the reviews, there are people who love it, who wear it as like their signature perfume. And after reading that, I was like, this is interesting. Like, let me just try it a bit more. And I did come to find that I quite liked the laudanum scent, but because it's almost pure sassafras on me, it's quite simplistic in its kind of root beeriness. Whereas this one is, the sassafras is kind of like a little surprise in there. It's kind of mixed with other things. And so it's super weird and I love it. Oh God, yeah, it's nice. Oh, it's nice. I haven't smelled this in a few days, and yes, you've got what do they describe it as? Like the warm, rugged vanilla, and yes, it's not overly sweet. It's kind of like vanilla pods. It's like if you literally had a vanilla pod and kind of snapped it and rolled it up in your hands or chewed it or something. It's a very, very natural vanilla, which is just gorgeous. But then you mingle it with this kind of weird blast of sassafras that doesn't really smell like root beer the way it usually does. It's like unless you really stick your nose in it, and then it's a bit root beery. And I quite like that. I love root beer. I can't drink it anymore, but I used to love it. So yeah, you've got this. It's strange. Like, I wouldn't even be able to tell you where this scent lands on a gender spectrum because it's so weird that I just can't ascribe any kind of gender to it at all. I imagine it was probably, actually it says a perfume of America's Old West. So I imagine it was aimed at women. Surely they would have said a cologne if it was aimed at men. America's Old West. Can't stop smelling it. It's just so nice. And the sassafras actually is almost a little bit licoricey. I don't. Is sassafras maybe in black licorice? It doesn't smell like black licorice, but there's just It's kind of a bit of a comparison there. Oh, that's nice, though. That is so nice. It's just compulsively weird, and I love it. So yeah, Tombstone, you can get imps of this one. Because it's a general catalogue one, you can get little samples if you want to just try a sample of it. And I do recommend it because it's lovely and weird. So anyway, this now leads me on to just talking, hopefully briefly, because I've waffled at you for a very long time and I need to go to a restaurant soon. But I just want to briefly touch on, like, say, these 2 free bottles I got, because they are so nice and they're so weird and no one's talked about them. And maybe you guys have them too. And we can actually try and work out what we're smelling here. So the first one is called NVMA1 and it's a prototype. And this label, I already have one that is called Ngaggle1. And that was also a free bottle. And Ngaggle1, there are reviews of online. To me, it smells like lollipops and I love it. This has the same label art, so I assume it came from the same collection. It's got a similarly weird name that's just a cluster of letters starting with N. But this one smells like frankincense a little bit. Definitely, yeah, definitely. Now it's settling a little bit more. And I've smelled it more times. There's definite frankincense. And yet it's almost kind of slightly peppery. Maybe a little bit rose or rosewood. I think initially when it first came, there was a lot of, it was quite woody. And rosewood was what always sprang to mind. Whereas now the frankincense is getting a lot stronger. Just with time. So it's got, and there's earthiness too. I'm almost like, is there a bit of graveyard dirt in this too somehow? Or am I making that up? Because I don't know. It smells, no, I swear there's something slightly dirty in this, like in a good way, like that loamy kind of graveyard dirty impression. But equally, I think frankincense can be kind of all the things I've just said. It can be kind of a little bit kind of earthy, and I'm so lost without reviews and things, without lists of what I'm smelling. I hate, just pitching out into the darkness of like, what am I smelling? I don't know, but it smells so good. The closest thing I would say it smells like is Cleric, actually. One of their the LARPing smells that they've got. Cleric and Mage, basically anything that's kind of religious themed. So things like that, and Midnight Mass, Cathedral, all of BPAL's religious themed scents tend to have frankincense as quite a prominent note, because it does have quite a kind of churchy, religious, almost sorrowful smell to it or feeling to it. Frankincense. I can't do a good job on this review right now because I've got Dapper Mandrake kicking in with soap over here, and I've got pink and blue candy canes. I knew I should have left the pink and blue candy canes till the end because it's going nuts over here. Everything smells like raspberry and blueberry and sugar, and it's so good. But just if I could just like take my arm over there and just kind of, there we go. Actually, that works. So yeah, so what are the letters? NVMA1 Prototype. I would have said it's got to have been a prototype for something related to religion because it smells a lot like those. The only other scent I could compare this to a little bit is their one from the Vampires collection, which was the Cicuta one. The notes being frankincense, dried roses, candle smoke, I think, and maybe tears. Or anyway, those are the impressions and notes that I recall and get from Cicuta. Love that scent. I haven't worn it in a while, actually. I must dig it out. But NVMA1 is just a little bit more peppery. And again, maybe slightly graveyard dirty. So I'm fascinated by this scent. I do like it a lot. If anyone else has got it, please tell me. So the other one of their mysterious ones is PPGC767 Prototype. And I haven't seen, it's just got a plain label. Oh my God, this one actually says unreleased. Has anyone smelled this before? So this one, I don't think I've actually got any spaces left on my arms to smell this, so I'm going to have to just smell it in the bottle. But this one's kind of sweet in a very mild, silky way. It reminds me of their blood amber and sugar. Is it amber and sugarcane or blood amber and sugarcane? It's quite similar, but there's something effervescent there too. Something almost champagne-y or something. So it's got that like celebratory kick. Gosh. Was it going to be a lace scent? Or am I just biased towards fizzy things and I think lace, because I think one of the only lace scents I own is the champagne lace, which has got the similar fizzy and sweet. So this one, there's something, it's not like a super happy scent, but it's got that fizziness and it's got the silky sweetness. It's very nice. And I wish I could try it on my skin and smell it properly, but I have literally run out of space because 2 of these are such loud smells, I can't go near them. So the final, just I said I was going to shut up, but I just have to mention, this is another general catalogue, and it's a linen spray or an atmosphere spray too. You can spray it in the air and you can just perfume the room with it, or you can spray it on your clothes and it lingers so long on your clothes. All the linen sprays, I wish you could get every BPAL as a linen spray, and I probably would for most of them because it just lasts longer, and I love having clothes that just smell gorgeous. It's basically, if you're one of these people, you find your t-shirt on the floor and you're like, that's my favourite t-shirt, I don't want to put it in the wash yet, and you reach for the Febreze, but Febreze just smells like Febreze. You can use this instead and actually smell nice instead of smelling like Febreze. So this one is TKO, which has never had listed notes. It just describes itself as many things such as loving, going to sleep, or behaving unaffectedly are done worst when we try hardest to do them. So this one, most people focus on the going to sleep part of this, that this is a very lavendery smell, and people say, oh, this really helps me sleep. This is like my favourite thing for helping me sleep. And I have just become obsessed with this smell. Like, I never thought I was a big lavender fan, really, but this one, I'm just going to spray a bit on my little doodah because it is so nice. Kind of like it's like a sugared lavender. It's just a very pure sugared lavender. And I find if you put it on your pajamas and then you're like really warm in the night, and when you get up in the morning, the sugariness of the lavender has really amped, and you've got this really like sweet candied lavender smell, and it's just gorgeous. So it gets layered and layered and layered on my pajamas and on my bed sheets and everything. And I love it. I love the fact that the linen sprays, you get a really big bottle and it takes you a long time to go through it. But this is probably the first one I'm actually going to burn through really fast because I'm using it pretty much daily, which is so rare for me to actually pick one scent and just use it and use it and use it all the time. But TKO, I am loving so much. So I just had to mention that one too as a bit of an honourable mention. I do still have like some that I have not mentioned because they're not huge favourites of mine. But anyway, I will end this waffle here. This has been a very, very long waffle, so hopefully that has been tolerable. Hopefully this isn't like the 4th video this month that I'm like, no, we're not going to put this out because I'm boring myself now. But anyway, you requested it, so here it is. I need to go away. I've got a restaurant to go to. Everything is stressful. And thank you for listening to me waffle. But yes, if you had any from the Yules that you think I would like, please tell me about them. And if you got throttled, anything mysterious, one of these kind of like loads of letters, prototypes, unreleased, something no one knows about and you can't find the reviews, maybe drop it here and see what other people think in case someone else has been throttled the same bottle. It'd be interesting to know. So tell me things. And with that said, I'm going to shut up and go away. But thank you for being a fellow BPAL appreciator. I love my fellow BPAL appreciators. There's not a huge amount of us, but it's enough that it's lovely. So thank you for forcing me into making this video. It has cheered me up. So over and out. Bye-bye.